I've seen content on social media, and perhaps you have too, where you see people who are gay or lesbian doing reels or TikToks, and they make statements such as, if he's not straight or if she's not straight, I don't want her. I've seen TikToks or reels with lesbians who are maybe studs, and they say statements such as, I only date straight girls. And then, of course, you have the gay guys who are always putting straight looking men on a pedestal, or they pretty much want a straight man. And then you have the people who make statements such as, I always get crushes on straight girls, or my straight boy crush. Where does this come from? Why are gay and lesbian people so fixated on being attracted to heterosexual people? And there are people who are gay and lesbian who even date the opposite sex. I've actually received some comments from a recent short on my YouTube channel that is titled A Gay Dating Red Flag. It's also on my other social media, such as my Instagram and my TikTok. And if you are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram as well as TikTok. The handle is the same. It's at Giselle A. Wallace. Thank you for following and subscribing. And I've had some comments, very few comments, about any confusion about my short or my reel that is titled A Gay Dating Red Flag, where I'm talking about the red flag is when gay and lesbian people are only attracted to heterosexual people or the opposite sex. So I remember receiving a comment from someone who said, if they're attracted to the opposite sex, then they're not gay. And I responded, because that's a statement that is valid, but I had to explain the reason why I made the statement that gay and lesbian people who are attracted to the opposite sex actually happens. Now, the attraction is not the type of attraction that you think it is, because see, there's different forms of attraction. Attraction doesn't necessarily mean sexual attraction. So yes, if you are gay or lesbian, you are not sexually attracted to the opposite sex or gender because you're a homosexual. However, there are closeted gay and lesbian people who are not ready to reveal that they are gay or lesbian. And what they will do to hide their same-sex attractions is that they will publicly make it an appearance that they're with the opposite sex or gender, when they're not even at all with the opposite sex or gender. They just want people to believe that they are. So I remember being in college and meeting people who were not ready to come out, and they would actually publicly show up with someone of the opposite sex, and everybody assumed they were in a relationship together, but they weren't. They were actually just in this facade of a relationship because they didn't want people to know that they were gay or lesbian. I know you've heard the stories where, like, male athletes, they were these maybe popular, real successful people in school, they played sports, maybe they were on some type of student board, and they didn't want certain things to get out about themselves, such as them being gay or lesbian. So they would literally make it their business to be with someone of the opposite sex or gender, so that for appearances purposes, people would think that they were heterosexual. So this happens. And that's because there are gay and lesbian people who are in denial about being gay or lesbian. They're not ready to come out. They're not ready to accept the fact that they are homosexual. And they will go through all kinds of avenues to make sure that nobody knows that they're gay or lesbian. And with this comes internalized homophobia. It would bother them to be in a relationship with someone of the same sex. They're not looking at gay relationships or gay couples as couple goals. I know you see the trend all on social media about couple goals and things of that nature. They who are gay and lesbian, who are not accepting of themselves, who are in these facade of relationships with the opposite sex, they don't look at homosexual relationships as a goal. They actually don't feel like being in a relationship with the same sex is beneficial for them. All they see is pain. All they see is exposure. And they've been brainwashed all their lives that being a gay or lesbian person is very perverted or strange. And then you have the religious people who view homosexuality as an abomination or a sin. And if you've been ingrained with this type of mindset for all your life, well, you're not going to view being in a relationship with the same sex as a good thing. It's not couple goals to you. So you become to be fascinated with heterosexual relationships. That's the type of relationship that you view as couple goals when it's a heterosexual relationship. And this actually goes into why a lot of gay and lesbian people, when they do date someone of the same sex, they are so brainwashed with the idea that they have to be just like heterosexual people, and they take on the roles of heterosexual males and females in order to be in a relationship with someone of the same sex. So that goes in a whole nother path, which is very destructive, because if you are gay or lesbian and you are practicing to be in a heterosexual relationship with someone who is of the same sex, someone who is gay or homosexual like yourself, that is very unhealthy. And you are actually in your mind viewing relationships as heterosexual relationship goals. You don't think that being in a homosexual relationship is progressive, nor do you view it as a healthy, beneficial relationship for yourself. There are also gay and lesbian people. They may not date the opposite sex for appearances. And of course, they're not attracted sexually to the opposite sex because they're gay or lesbian. But these type of homosexual people will date the same sex. However, they're always chasing after someone who is heterosexual. So for example, you have a lesbian and she may be a stud, or you have a lesbian and she may be femme presenting, but she always is with a woman who is heterosexual. So in other words, she's only going to be with someone who is heterosexual and the person is female. So it appears that this relationship is a genuine lesbian relationship, but it's not. It's not a good fit. It's not a compatible relationship. And really, the relationship is one-sided. So you have the lesbian who has chased after this heterosexual woman to where this heterosexual woman now just decides, all right, well, I'm just going to experiment with this lesbian because, well, she's the one who pursued me, so let me just experiment with her, and that's what I'll do for now. I'm bored, or me and my boyfriend broke up, or me and my husband are going through some things, so why not just entertain myself? So the heterosexual woman, she may actually get involved temporarily with this lesbian, but she has ulterior motives, and her ulterior motives are for selfish reasons. She may be bored, she may be heartbroken, she may just want to experiment with her sexuality. A lot of people experiment with their sexuality, but they know pretty quickly afterwards that they are not gay or they're not straight. You already kind of instinctively know what your sexual orientation is, but some people want to literally experiment with different people just to fully understand themselves, and that's fine. When it gets unhealthy is when you actually start using people and you know that you're not genuinely interested in a person. You have no long-term goals or desires to be with someone because you want to benefit from the person selfishly. So in this regard, if you are a lesbian who only likes to go after straight girls, your intention is more so because you're seeking validation in someone who is, yes, she is the same sex as you. Yes, she is a female, which makes it appear outwardly that it is a lesbian relationship, but it's really not a lesbian relationship, because even though two females may be together, if your sexual orientation is not in sync, the relationship will not be beneficial to either party because you're not compatible. You're not aligned. And usually there are underlying reasons why you are in this relationship together. And the reasons are not for the purposes of having a healthy long-term relationship. It's usually driven by insecurity as well as selfish intentions. So the heterosexual female, she will mess around with this lesbian female for her own selfish intentions. And the lesbian female will be in this relationship with the heterosexual female because she has internalized homophobia. And she's also seeking the validation from a heterosexual female. She wants acceptance, and she doesn't understand the only way that she can be accepted is by accepting herself. You don't gain acceptance from external people. Acceptance is an inside job. So when you are someone who is always finding yourself only being attracted to people of the same sex, although it appears that you are a homosexual and that you are attracted to people of the same sex because you are homosexual, you have underlying unresolved issues if the person who you're always attracted to is heterosexual. Now, an example for gay guys who are homosexual men or gay guys And they always are attracted to men who identify as heterosexual, and they're heterosexual men, meaning they're exclusively attracted to women. But these gay men are always chasing after these straight men. These are the type of gay men who do not value themselves as gay men. They don't even value other gay men because they look at them as being inferior. And this comes from being in an environment which degrades or devalues people who are gay. And they make men who identify as gay, or men who are not ready to identify as gay. They may be closeted men, or they may be men on the down low. They refer to these men as being less of a man. And any man who is attacked according to his manhood, he will hide the fact that he is gay as much as possible and as long as possible. And he looks at himself as less than a heterosexual man. So what this does, this causes him to view heterosexual men as superior. So he's drawn to straight acting men or heterosexual men. Now, straight acting men can actually be other gay men or bisexual men, but they do not give the appearance or the energy of being homosexual men or bisexual men. So gay men will only date or sleep with those type of men, but they will never be with a man who is openly gay, because the gay men who will not sleep with or date men who are openly gay, they have internalized homophobia. They have self-hate. So they will only be with men who are heterosexual. And this heterosexual man who gives a gay man a chance, he's just experimenting with his sexuality. And he's using that gay man for sexual needs. And that's it. He has no intention to be with a gay man openly in public or for long-term reasons. It's never emotional. It's always strictly sexual. But the gay man, he is conflicted. He is not aligned within himself. He is seeking validation from a heterosexual man. He wants acceptance. He has low self-esteem. He has a very poor self-worth as a gay man because he doesn't view himself as worthy because he's a homosexual. And the way that he handles this is by chasing heterosexual men who constantly reject him because, of course, they will. They're heterosexual men. So what does this do to the gay man? It makes him feel even worse because he's constantly going through rejection from the person who he puts on a pedestal, which is a heterosexual man. And logically, you would think he would understand a heterosexual man will not date you. A heterosexual man will not validate you because he is a heterosexual man. He is not a gay man. And if the heterosexual man you're chasing is homophobic, well, you're really going to be mistreated. So if you allow a homophobic heterosexual man to define you as a gay man, you're going to struggle in life indefinitely. And you're going to have a very painful existence because you refuse to accept yourself as a gay male or a gay man. And this applies across the board for males and females. And you are a gay person who identifies as a male, or you are a gay person who identifies as a female, or if you just want to say you're a lesbian. You are experiencing internalized homophobia and shame. And you are screaming for help. And you can receive the help. You can receive the freedom of being yourself, being an authentic homosexual. You don't have to go after people who are not compatible for you. You don't have to believe that the only way that you can have a fulfilling romantic and sexual love life is by pretending to be someone who you are not, which is a heterosexual person pursuing another person who is heterosexual. You are not a heterosexual. You are a homosexual. And that is 100% fine. You are who you are. And you need to live your life freely and authentically as a same-sex attracted person. I provide life coaching for same-sex attracted people because ultimately I want to see you living your life as a same gender loving person. And your desire to be in a relationship with someone of the same sex needs to be fulfilled. And in order for you to get to the point in your life where you can be with someone of the same sex and you both are aligned, you are compatible, you both are accepting of your same-sex attractions, and you are able to identify as a gay or lesbian person, you can accomplish it and have a same gender loving partnership. I am available for life coaching. You can contact me. All of my contact information is here on my social media. And you also can go directly to my website, www.gisellewallace.com. Thank you for listening. Subscribe. I am Giselle Wallace, certified gay life coach and author. Have a loving day.